Good morning, class 7. We are back. The chapter number 1. So, we will be continuing with page number 13. So, previously, we have learned that the cowherd boy had brought two black eggs for Oppo, and Oppo, stretching out his hand, grabs them and he turned them away, and that murmured, "Vultures?" Then he said to the boy, "They are real, aren't they?" So that cowherd boy is telling, "I got them from the top branch of a very high tree, and a very risky job it was. But I can't let you have them for less than 2 hours." So that boy wants money now. So he want 2 annas for two black eggs. Opus face fell when he heard the cost. "I'll give you 2 peas," he said, "and you can have my corries. I'll let you have all of them and the tin box I keep them in." So Oppo was very upset, because he did not have 2 annas. That was a very high cost for him. So he's telling that I will give you 2 peas, means 2 koris. Okay, koris जो छोटा छोटा होता है, like I'll give you the picture. I will show you the picture when we discuss this online. Okay. Mm, so it was so, and he's not only willing to give them give him 2 koris, but he will also give him the tin box that he keeps all his belongings there. The cowherd boy was more experienced in worldly matters than Oppo. He was not prepared to sell the eggs except for cash. So the cowherd boy only will give the 2 eggs only of cash and nothing else. So eventually the price was fixed at 4 price. Oppo managed to get the 2 piece from his sister and completed the deal. So anyhow, Oppo managed to give those 2 annas. Then the cowherd boy took some of Oppo's quarries as well. These quarries were Oppo's life. At any other time, he would not have parted with them for half a kingdom. But playing with quarries seemed poor sport in comparison with flying in the sky. So Oppo was not willing to give the quarries to him because he used to play with the quarries all the time. If you want a half of kingdom of from Oppo was not willing to give it. So, but still, he gave it because playing with Corys was much more inferior than flying in the sky. So he had the eggs in his hand, and his mind felt as light as a balloon. Then slowly a little shadow of doubt darkened his joy. That evening, before dark, he was in Nira's orchard, sitting on a branch that had been cut off a rose apple tree. His mind was busy with questions. Shall I really be able to fly now? Where shall I fly to? To my uncle's house? Or to where Baba has gone? Or shall I fly across the river? Or shall I fly to where the stars rise in the sky, as the sparrows or miners do? Shall I do it today or tomorrow? So he had a lot of questions in his mind. So uh, something had darkened his joy. So the happiness was actually setting down. That evening, before dark, he was in Nira's orchard, okay, where he was sitting on a branch that had been cut off to a rose apple tree. So it has been cut off to a rose apple tree height, and his mind was busy with questions. So filled with questions, and you know what the questions are. So later that same evening, Durga was looking for an old piece of cloth to use a wick. Wick, wick is a strip of cloth used in a candle or lamp. So while she was rummaging among some torn tags, something rolled from the back of the shelf and fell onto the floor. "Goodness, ma!" she exclaimed. "There are 2 big eggs here." They fell and broke. So Oppo had kept those 2 eggs in the shelf, and when Durga have tried to take the piece of cloth from that rack or from that shelf. The two big eggs dropped down and fell, broke. I wonder what bird came into the house and I laid it eggs here. It is best to pass over what happened later. Oppu cried and refused to touch his food for a whole day. Sorbujaya talked about it when she went down to the pond for her bath. Oppu's making an enormous fuss. I've never heard that like of it. He says that if you have a vulture's eggs, you can fly. The cowherd boy is a proper scoundrel. He collected a couple of eggs from a crow's nest or somewhere and said that they were vulture's eggs, and he made Oppu pay 4 Ps for them. I can't tell you what a simpleton the lad is, Shejobu. Shejbu. So Shejbu is Sajla Bahu. Okay, Shejbu is Sajla Bahu. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. So mother have understood that those eggs were not of vultures; they were of crows, and that cowherd boy had bluffed him, betrayed him, and taken 4 Ps. That is 4 annas, the 4 Ps, and even his cories too. So the boy was a very bad boy. He means betrayed him, and come to the next page. How could poor Sharbojaya know? Everybody had not read the anthology of ancient physical works, and not everybody knew the properties of mercury. It is well that did not, because in that case everybody would be able to fly. So here Opu is thinking that how could Mama know this? Because um, he had not she had not read the anthology of ancient physical works, and everybody in this everybody is not well acquainted with the properties of mercury, so it is better not to tell them, because everybody would learn to fly then. So this is what the story is about. Ultimately, he was unsuccessful in flying because the 2 eggs broke. Bibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay have written this 1894 and 1950. Was a writer of novels, short stories, travelogues. His first novel, Pather Pachal, is a landmark in Bengali fiction and was adapted in the award-winning film by Satyajit Ray. Chander Pahar and Aranyak are among his other famous works. So this is what the story is about. So there is an example of irony. Everyone wouldn't be able to fly if they read the anthology of ancient physical works. His gently pokes fun at books that made such false claims and at Opu's willingness to believe them. So actually, these are all false things, imagination. These are not true. Nobody could fly like that. Nobody can take that vulture's eggs and say that oh okay, I am being able to fly. No, you cannot. So these are all false statements. And seeing codis are polished, brightly colored shells, were once used in India and other countries as currency. It comes from the Hindi word kauri. Okay, I'll show you the picture in the next class. So this is all about the story. I hope it will be. We are completed this. So read this page number 13 and 14. Understand it. Listen to the video nicely, and in the next online class I will be revising the whole gist of the story. Okay, thank you, bye bye.